Okay, everybody, welcome, and thank you for joining us at the 2024 Denton Matters Candidate Forum. This is our first live forum since the pandemic, and we are stoked about having this. We are very, very happy to be here live. I just wanted to go ahead and introduce the candidates and just kind of let you know how the forum is set up. So, as for the candidates, I just also want to let you know how we have them set up. We have them set up by place first and then alphabetical order. So we have place 5, Erica Garland, Brandon Chase McGee, Incumbent, Lilyan Prado Carrillo, Jill Jester, and then for mayor, Gerard Hudspeth, Incumbent, and Lucas Wedgeworth. And there is another candidate who's running for mayor, but he is not here, and that is Stephen Dillenberg. We did reach out to him, we did not hear back. Okay, how we're going to ask the questions is we are going to start at the very end with Erica, and we're going to go down the line. We will announce who the candidate is before they start speaking so that people listening can hear. And then the second question will start with our second candidate, Brandon, or second person in the line, Brandon, and then it'll just keep going in order like that so everybody has the opportunity to be asked a question first. And, well, I guess we can go ahead and get to it. Thank you again. Warm welcome to everyone who's joined us today. Thank you. Okay, so place 5, Erica Garland. We will start with you. Our first question, you come up to the podium. This is a hard job, and if done correctly, it also doesn't pay well. What local issue or personal event compelled you to run for council to represent all citizens?
That's a great question. So the reason I'm running is because I've lived in Denton for 14 years. How long do we get?
Oh, I'm sorry, you get 90 seconds.
Okay. I've lived in Denton for 14 years. I've been a single mom of 4 boys. And so I've definitely known what it's like to have to answer tough questions and have the challenges associated with just meeting the economic requirements of living in Denton. I've worked 2 jobs, and there's been times where, you have to decide which bills you're gonna pay. And so looking at Denton throughout the years, we see the growth, we see that it is growing, more people are moving here. And I just wanna make sure that council is being intentional about the growth that's coming to Denton, and that we are bringing opportunities so that we can bring all citizens up to kind of a higher economic level, giving them opportunities for higher paying jobs, and just so that they have the opportunity to thrive in Denton and not just kind of survive and get by.
Wonderful, thank you so much. And Brandon Chase McGee.
Sorry.
Sorry about that, guys.
Sorry about that. Everybody awake?
All good now.
That mic's hot. I'm trying to keep it from feeding back, and I did the worst thing.
No problem.
Okay, you want me to repeat the question?
Yeah.
Okay. This is a hard job, if done correctly, and it doesn't pay well. What local issue or personal event compelled you to run for council and represent citizens?
Thank you for the question. First off, hey everybody, how are we doing? Thanks for showing up on a Sunday afternoon. Thank y'all for setting this up and allowing us to get this campaign season with our public forums kicked off with this event. So it's good to be back in the saddle a little bit. I ran for council initially 2 years ago because I was concerned about losing the progress that the past couple councils had made. They've done a good job really making sure that they invested in the environment, that they work on addressing problems of homelessness, that they help support city staff in a way that city staff has never been supported. Those are the things that motivated me to run for council. The major negative thing that motivated me to run for council was the tone and tenor of some council members. Yeah, the bickering, the biting, the cutting off of women when they're speaking, those type of things motivated me to run for council because I looked at the environment, and the gentleman who was running last time, I knew he was gonna be just like the folks on council who were cutting off folks' mics. I knew he wasn't gonna show up and listen to anybody. I knew he actually wasn't gonna care about anyone other than the folks who wrote him a big check to run for office. I ran for office because somebody needed to represent the people. And as the only regular working person on city council, there's nobody more positioned than me to understand the needs of regular working Dentonites. That's why I ran for council. And I've continued to lead that way for the past 2 years. Council's about building relationships. You got to count to 4 in everything. So you have to have someone who understands that politics is a team sport, and you have to bring people along with you on the process. Thanks very much.
Thank you. Okay, Lilyan, Prado, Carrillo. Would you like for me to repeat the question?
Sure.
Okay. This is a hard job if done correctly, and it doesn't pay well. What local issue or personal event compelled you to run for council and represent all citizens?
Thank you. Hello everyone, my name is Lilyan Prado Carrillo. I'm really excited to be running for City Council Place 6. I've lived in Denton for the last 40 years. I'm originally from Guatemala, and so my dad brought me here when I was 4 years old. So I was raised by a single dad. I went to Borman, to Calhoun, to Denton High, graduate in 98, go Broncos. Then I went to NCTC, I transferred to TWU, Texas Women's University, and then I graduated from UNT. So I have my undergrad from TWU, my master's from UNT. And the reason that I'm running for council is I really do want to have a council in Denton that is truly representative of the city that we are. We're at 25% Hispanic. We are 48% Alice homes, which means most of us, half of our population, is living from paycheck to paycheck. I'm a former educator. I've done lots of things with the community. And if I had to pick one exact moment where I said, man, I really need to do this, even though I've been considering this forever. I shared with somebody that in 5th grade, when I was in Borman, we went to Enterprise City on a field trip. And I ran to be the mayor, and I won. So even before then, and everything that I've done ever since, congressional internships, public policy training programs, leadership Denton. I have a master's in public administration from UNT specifically to run and to be an educated politician, right? I don't want to just be a politician. I want to be someone that knows the issues. But if I had to pick one isolated event, it would be Green Tree. So many of y'all may know or may not know, Green Tree is a mobile home park that is right by Pecan Creek. They were annexed by the city, but they were not getting any services, no water, no roads, no nothing. And so their well water was about to be turned off and they were left without nothing. The city came in with giving them options for people that were going to be displaced and didn't have a home. And that is not the result, and that is not the thing that the city's supposed to do. We're supposed to be watching out for all of our citizens, not just people who are attached to special interests. Thank you.
Thank you. And Jill Jester, would you like for me to repeat the question?
No, that's all right. Thank
Okay.
you. Hello, everyone. My name is Jill Jester. A little about me. I was born and raised here. I actually also went to Frank Borman, Calhoun, and Denton High School. And the reason I'm running, there are really a couple of issues that have compelled me to run. First of all, it's already kind of been mentioned, I felt like that politics in Denton, just like in our nation and our state capital, has become us and them, as opposed to we. And I found myself being elected chair of different nonprofits and city boards. I'm currently chair of the Chief of Police Advisory Board, rolled off of being chair of the Economic Development Partnership Board. I was chair of the Downtown Task Force. I've served as chair of the Texas Women's University's Board of Regents, as well as on the board of directors for KERA and other arts organizations. I was on the board of the group that puts on the Denton Arts and Jazz, and have chaired a capital campaign for health services in North Texas, addressing the needs for low cost or no cost health services here in town. But one thing I think we're losing is our sense of community. And I really appreciate and want to thank those that have put on today's event, that we can have these kinds of discussions and conversations about ideas and not just us versus them. And that's one of the reasons I wanted to put myself forward and try to make a difference, because that's something I care about. Secondly, I would say, I think we've lost the direction on what economic development can do for all incomes. I think attainable housing for all incomes is important. A diversity in lots of different ways make up Denton, and I love it. Thanks, bye.
Thank you. Gerard, Hudspeth, Incumbent Mayor.
Yeah, so it was my 3 years on council before that motivated me to run. Looking forward, I look forward to continuing to problem solve in a unique way. I guess I do have to announce that I do work, as does the majority of council, right? Everyone on council, but for a couple, have jobs. So that is a challenge to work through that, to balance those things. We all do it. I would challenge everyone to look beyond the words you hear today, and probe which candidates are openly advocating for different candidates. Specifically in the seat 6, that's noteworthy. It's an open seat. There's no history there. Everyone deserves a fair shake. Each candidate can run on their own. But if you're a sitting council member and you take a position against someone in an open seat, I just don't know that that's the cohesiveness that we're purporting to want. And so those are instances I look for. I challenge people to look beyond just the rhetoric, look beyond the words, and what are the actions say. So I like the history and the work we've done. I've served as a PTA president. I've been a single dad, raised my 2 kiddos that are 29, 28 now. And so I just have a different perspective. Obviously, this council is as diverse as any other council. I don't know that we've ever had the diversity we have here, and that's credit to the voters. And so thank you. Looking forward to the conversation.
Thank you. Lucas Wedgeworth, Mayor.
Do you mind repeating the question for me again?
Of course. This is a hard job if done correctly and it doesn't pay well. What local issue or personal event compelled you to run for council to represent all citizens?
Okay, well, first and foremost, thank you for being here, everyone, and thank you for having this time so that we could, get to know everybody. The conversation for me starting my adventure down the path of being potentially the mayor of Denton started with my students in a classroom discussion probably about just before Thanksgiving, and we were talking about the various titles a person could have. And we were talking about politics and local events, and one of the students said, you should run for mayor. You always go on and on about how society should run. Just a little bit about me, I'm a teacher. I teach history, social studies, government, economics, art, and special education. And, I have a lot of opinions about how society should run, and I think that we need to have a working class focus in this city. And I've worked with thousands of students at this point, students who have struggled with homelessness, showing up to school hungry. And there wasn't one definitive moment. It started off as kind of just like, well, this is how you discover, the process of running for office. But the more I talked to people, the more people reached out to me, the more I saw the great need that this community still
10
has.
seconds.
And, first and foremost, housing costs are out of control. We need to have options that are centered around working class families so that
Time.
when we, thank you.
Thank you.